Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Random Encounters Guild. It's Sunday night, which is game night. I was thinking about running some more of Tavern Master this evening. Just catching up with what's going on there at the old tavern. But it's been a while since we checked in with Einar and see what's happening in his adventures. Last time we ran Kinless, we met up with Kavira, the Witch of the Woods, again, and we fought. We went into a crypt, and there was an undead king with several henchmen in there, and we fought them off. And Einar walked out of that with, I think it was a helm of some sort. I didn't write it down apparently. But he has a item now where he can summon an army of Draugr to follow him. Yeah, helm of the heretic king. This vile helm radiates a dark and foreboding aura that affects everyone around you while you wear it. While worn, +2 to enemy morale checks, +1 on initiative rolls, -4 on NPC reaction checks, -2 to hunting, -1 favor point per day. But after a day of wearing it, I get a number of Draugr equal to my presence that follow me. They do not attack me unless I attack them. I can command them in combat, but I must make a DR13 presence test each round or they do nothing. Any Draugr who die in combat are replaced within D3 days. If you remove the helmet, any Draugr followers will attack immediately, and I lose initiative. Einar has that, but he's not wearing it. He didn't put it on when they came out of the crypt. I think Kavira kind of warned him against it, that it was just to be used in dire emergency. And I think what Einar is thinking is when he's making his way, when he decides to go back to the village and he begins the final march back to his village, he will put it on and walk into the village with several Draugr behind him. I can't decide though. It may not be a good idea because that's just going to put me at a disadvantage going into that. Assuming Griff and Joran survive that far, I'm assuming they'll stick with me. But that was where we left off. We were down in the south side of the map, down in the swamp area. And so we're making our way back north. And we come up here around this area. We're coming up around the western side of the lake. Let me see if there's... some more ambient stuff going here. Oh, that's too much. I don't like that music. We'll leave it with this for now. There we go. Let's go with that. So we're making our way back north, and we're we're figuring we're going to have to cross the river at some point. And we get up here to this section of the map, and there's a glassy expanse spreads out before us, a once shining mirror of icy clear water. Now clad in mist, the lake bids a foreboding aura. The shoreline is covered in tall ash trees mixed with pine. Scattered along the perimeter are small fishing communities. And we came through this way on our way down when we were coming down to the swamps. So this isn't new to Einar, but maybe this time he's more hugging the coastline. So he's seeing more of these villages. Um, so the three of them are walking along um, through the fog, and they arrive here on the lake's edge. The surface is still and unmoving, save for the small ripples of a fisherman's tiny craft bobbing in the water. He looks at you warily, but with sufficient coin or the promise thereof, he may allow us to get onto his fishing boat and give us ferry across the lake. That would, instead of just continuing north, we could cross the lake and go towards the east, um, and not have to go north and go find a more narrow section to cross. Um, so we can we're going to have to try to convince this fisherman to take us across the lake. It is a special action. We have to choose whether to intimidate or persuade. So let's check on our stats. So to intimidate would be a DR 15 toughness or strength, whichever is better. His toughness is a +3, his strength is a +2. So it would be a +3. And we would have to beat a 15. To persuade him, we would have to make a DR 18 presence check. Our presence is a +3. But we would get to add a +1 for every 10 silver pieces that we offer to sweeten the deal. But if our first attempt fails, we can add more silver and roll again once without spending another special action. So we can either try to bully him or persuade him. We've got 129 silver, which isn't bad. And we haven't really been seeing a lot of, like, there's not a lot of places to spend money. So that's a 18. So if we give him we give him 20 silver pieces, we would have to roll a 13. I don't know. Maybe we try to persuade just to let's try to persuade him. We'll offer him 20 silver. So we've got to get a 13. You know what? I was going to use my new Dungeon Crawl Classics dice, but let's get out the Bloodstone Boulder. All right. So we need to hit a 13 or higher, and that will drop us 20 silver pieces. Oh, yes. Yes. Okay. We're going to put you aside over here. That was a 14. So we made it, and I need to be sure and take 20 silver off of my sheet. So we are now at 109. So the three of us climb in. It's a small boat, but it's enough for 4 people, 4 guys. The wooden boat sags slightly as we step aboard, but remains afloat nonetheless. The fisherman's skin is rugged and salt sprayed. His eyes are like 2 flecks of stone as they peer at you intently. Where? The man asks, and you gesture into the horizon behind him, towards the east. Take a few days to reach other side of lake. Must stay close to shore, he responds after looking over his shoulder. Shaking your head, you point more forcefully into the horizon towards the center of the lake. His eyes squint, peering at you as he assesses your weapons, armor, and overall demeanor. We cannot cross the eye, he says, shaking his head. Guardian will kill us all. So we rolled to convince him to take us, and we paid him his 20. So he agrees. Uh, he's not happy about it. Something this guardian he's speaking of is we don't know what that is, but of course we've seen some crazy stuff. I mean the between the rune bear and the undead, the Draugr king. So the shores of the lake were clear, and though the sun hid behind a pale white mask of clouds, its presence was warming nonetheless. However, as we cross toward the center of the lake, a great mist begins to form, and the warmth of the sun fades to an almost icy chill. Several times the fisherman tries to turn back or stray towards the shore. Each time Einar corrects him, his expression grows tighter and more fearful. Finally, he stops rowing and stands suddenly, causing the rowboat to rock violently back and forth. Keeping your seat, you steady yourself and the boat by tightly gripping the sides. The fisherman frantically pleads with you to let him turn back. We all hear a splash in the distance, and all of the fight seems to leave the boatman's body as he whispers, "Guardian!" before collapsing, cowering on the floor of the boat. You scan the surroundings, but the surface of the water is still, with no sign of the sound's origin. Without warning, the boat lurches forward, pulled in a riptide as something massive beneath the surface displaces the water at great speed. The boat is pulled violently toward the water, through the water, requiring much effort to keep you from being tossed over the side. Just as suddenly as it began, the boat slams to a stop, and a spray of water momentarily blinds you. As your vision clears, you see the rising form of a giant serpent looming high above you. In a desperate rage, you grab the oars and attempt to move back from the huge lake guardian. Let me. Where are you at? Here we go. Looks a little something like that. This is Voror. He's the guardian of the eye. Um, so Einar grabs the oars and starts trying to row back. As we fall back, the massive creature crashes down into the water, sending your small vessel skipping across the surface of the lake. The great serpent lets out a horrific shriek as its enormous frilled head breaches the surface of the lake a second time. The serpent's leathery frill flaps in the air high up above you as it thrashes its head about. Boror crashes down into the water once more, sending a great shock wave across the water that reduces our tiny boat to splinters. So, we are going to fight Voror the Great Serpent. A split second before the blast, Einar leaps into the air, weapon held high. What does Einar have? spear. He's got his bow and arrows and a spear. So the spear is poisoned. So he leaps into the air with his spear. And here in this image, oh no, I thought that was a rock, but that is the tail of Auror there. I was hoping for a place for Griff Joran to stand, but we're just in the water. So now we need to get some. Let's get some battle music going here. Okay. So what we're looking at here is we're fighting in the water, which is not good. If Voror scores a critical hit with his bite attack, it will attempt to pull us under the water. We have to make a DR 16 strength test to break free. If we fail that test, we take drowning damage. And if we attack under the water, if we stay underwater and keep trying to attack him, we have to make a toughness test. Or we can try to swim to the surface and try to fight it as best we can from the surface. So this is not good. One of the three of us, or all three of us, of course, we don't really care about the boatman. He's has no weapons, is not going to be of any help in this whatsoever. For all I know, he's swimming. He jumped overboard and is swimming back towards the shore. So let's do this. We need to go find. So once again, let's reacquaint ourselves with the rules. For initiative, we roll a d6. On a 1 through 3, the enemy goes first. 4 through 6, we do. So I'm going to take my d6 here. All right, that's a 4. That means Einar, Griff, and Joran will go first. And Einar, you know what? I'm going to get. Notebook out here. And write down his stats. $57 hit points. D6 for his armor for an enhanced hide. So anything we hit, any damage we do, we roll a d6 and take that off. And his bite is a d8. His attack is a 16. His attack DR is a 16. And defense is an 18. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I may have I may should have looked at this more before I made this decision to do this. May have bitten off more than we could chew. Um. Okay. So Einar has a spear, and it's got a +2 for poison. I'm wondering if that has an ongoing effect, or if it's just a +2 to damage. Was that in? I don't remember how he got this poisoned spear, but we're gonna say it's not an ongoing effect. Um, it just adds to his damage. So Einar Voror comes up and slams his tail down on our boat and shatters it to splinters. Hey Quasi, how you doing, buddy? And as the boat shatters, Einar leaps into the air, spear over his head, and he goes to bring it down. So we need to roll an attack on this guy. Here we go. We have to beat with our spear. That would be a strength. So got a +2. So I need to beat a 14. Oof, that's a 12. Okay, so Einar leaps and like gets knocked off to the side. What do Griff and Joran have? They have axes and bows. I don't know. I mean, maybe we can give them a bow attack. Since we won the initiative. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm going to make the call. We won the initiative, so they both fire their bows before the boat shatters. And then they'll go to their axes. So here we go. You know what? I'm not rolling that. I'm going to roll the boulder. Okay, Joran misses. Here comes Griff. Okay, Griff hits. Does a d6 of damage, which there's a d6. His armor is a d6 as well. So, okay, that's 5 points of damage. And his armor soaks 2. So 3 points of damage. Out of 57. Got a long way to go. And now it is Boror's turn. So he will try to, I mean, I don't know. Einar is right there next to him. So maybe he would try one of the others. You know what? Let's do this. Going with the chance cubes. On a blue, he goes after the fisherman. On a red, he will go after Griff or Joran. Red. All right. So, okay, blue is Griff, red is Joran. Joran. So he attacks Joran. And his defense, okay, an 18. Oh, natural 20. On a defense roll, what does that? Okay, if you're defending and you roll a natural 20, you get a free attack. So I'm gonna say before he's falling in the water, but he still has his bow in his hand. So he is going to fire off another shot before abandoning, or well. I guess it's an axe and the bow are the same. They're both a D6. So shouldn't really matter, I think. Wait. I want to make sure that's right. Oh, it's at the front, not in the back. Well, I thought it was. Possessions, but not weapons. Oh, no, there it is. Oh, no, an axe is a D8. A bow is a D6. Okay, so we're going to, yeah, he's going to take a swing at Boror with his axe. And he has to beat that is a hit. So a D8. Ugh. That's a 1 on his damage roll and a 6 for the armor. So he gets a free shot. Well, on a critical, he's getting a free shot off a critical. I'm not going to like double the damage or anything. It's still just 1 point of damage, but I'm going to say it goes through because it was a critical hit. Okay, so we're back to the top of the initiative. That makes it Einar's turn. We're going to go with the spear again. So I need a 14 or better. Okay, it is not Einar's night, apparently. He misses again. Griff goes for an axe attack. And he also misses. Joran goes for another axe attack. Joran hits. Okay, Joran is on, assuming he can do some damage. All right, that is 7 points of damage. So he's guaranteed at least 1. And that's what he got. 6 on the armor roll. So only 1 point of damage. And that brings us to Goror's turn. I'm going to say the fisherman is out of range. He spent his round swimming towards the shore. So he is gone, no longer a concern. So now it's, does he attack Einar or does he attack Griff or Joran? So I didn't think I would need my D3, but it's right there on top. All right. 1 is Einar, 2 is Griff, 3 is Joran. 2. He attacks Griff. Ooh, Griff fails. But it's not a critical, so we don't have to worry about that. And he does a D8 of damage. Oh, come on, man. He does 8 points of damage. What kind of armor do they have? They have furs, so that's a D2. All right, so 6 points of damage. Oh my gosh, these dudes have 7 hit points. So yeah, Griff is he has 1 hit point left. He's hurting. This may have been a colossal mistake. Back to top of the round. It's Einar's turn. Einar is going for the spear again. Oh, yes. Okay, here we go. Einar's back, baby. That is a hit. So we do a D8 plus 2. All right, he does 4 points of damage. But the armor soaks 5, so he hits him, but no damage. Joran will attack with his axe. Okay, that's a hit. All right, that's 7 points of damage. And 6 on the soak. Good grief, I'm gonna have to get a different D6. Just one hit point at a time. So that was all three of us. Griff missed, Joran hit. So here we go. Back to the top of the round. All right, he's going after Einar. Oh, but he misses. Einar dodges him in the water. So Einar goes to hit him with the spear. There we go. That is a hit. D8 plus 2. Oh, come on. Okay, that's 3 points of damage. And 5 soak. So he doesn't. You know what? I'm swapping dice. I don't like the way this is going. I'm going to get rid of these. I'm going to leave the D3 out because that's useful for deciding who gets attacked. And I'm going to break out my Viking runes. Probably should have gone with these to begin with, but I wanted to roll my new DCC dice. Okay. Fresh set of dice. Griff's turn. That is a miss. Joran's turn. Okay, that's a hit. He's going with the axe, so that is a D8. Oh, these aren't any better. I hate nights when I'm rolling bad, and there's nothing I can do about it. Okay, that was all three of us. Griff missed again. Joran hit, but didn't do any damage. We may have to run from this. I don't know if we can. He will pursue us. For 5 rounds. Okay, so it is Voror's turn. Who's he gonna attack? Joran. Okay, fail. Not a crit, but he didn't hit him. Einar's turn. Okay, that is a hit. Here we go. Come on. Let's do some freaking damage. Okay, that's 6 points of damage. All I need is for this D6 to roll less than a 6. A 1. Yes. Okay, 5 points of damage. Can't believe I'm so excited about 5 points of damage, but Okay, so that's good. That was a good turn. Um, Griff goes with his axe. That is a miss. Joran, that is another miss. Boror, who's he attacking? Oh, Griff. Griff has 1 hit point. And he's attacking Griff. So here we go. It's not a crit, but it's definitely a hit. So he is going to do 4 points of damage, and yeah, there's nothing Griff can do with that. He soaked 2 of it, so he takes 2 points of damage. So Griff is gone. Griff gets bitten and dragged under. And Joran, we never really got into their relationship, if they're brothers or related in some way, or if they're just friends. But Joran's not happy. Joran is if nothing else, they've been and I mean, and Einar's not happy either. Einar's like, these two have been his traveling companions for a while now, so it's not like Einar doesn't care. So pour one out for Griff, everybody. And that brings us round to the top of the round. So before we go back to the top of the round, I'm gonna freshen up my drink, and I'll be right back. Stick around, Quasi. If you're still with me, stick around. We may do. I may have you do some rolling, if you don't mind. If you're still with me, there, buddy. I need some help. Apparently, I'm rolling garbage tonight. So I'll be right back in 15 seconds. Okay. Here's to you, Griff. You were a good traveling companion, a good hunter. Hate to see you go. But Boror is getting one of us. We may have an opportunity to get away. Do we want to do that? Do we want to try and get away? Or do we want to continue fighting and try to take out this legendary creature? Because it literally could kill all 3 of us. I mean, Einar's got more hit points than I guess Griff and Joran should have been leveling up with me. They would have more than 7 hit points now. I'm not going to take it back. Griff is dead. But I'm also. I'm going to give Joran. Like when we do a level up. Should have thought of that beforehand. Okay, so when you level up, you roll 10d6. If the result is equal to or higher than your max HP, you increase your max by d6. But I know I've leveled at least twice since I started traveling with them. So I'm not going to do the 10d6 thing. I'm just going to roll. I'm going to roll 2d6 and give him those hit points. 2 and a 4. So he gets 6 hit points. That means Griff would actually still be alive, but like I said, I'm not going to take it back. It happened, so it happened. Okay, top of the round. Einar's turn. Einar sees Griff get bitten and, probably like thrown up in the air and swallowed. I was thinking about trying to swim away and get away while Boror is eating Griff, but I don't think Einar would do that. I need to look up the benefit of frenzy. Because the skin of the rune bear we're wearing as armor allows us to frenzy without the use of herbs. I just need to know what that does for me. see anything that gives me frenzy. Like tells me what it does. I wonder if it like gives me 2 attacks. Because that would be cool. So strange. Why is it not? So the berserker gets frenzy. Okay, here we go. Oh, it's under traits. In this state, armor is treated as 1 die higher. So we have a D4, so that would bring us to a D5. No, D6. So it doesn't do anything for our attack or anything. It just gives us better armor, which is good. I like that. Okay, so Einar is going for the first time. It took Griff dying to do this. Einar is going to go into a frenzy, and now uh, his armor. He can only do this once per day. Wonder how long it lasts. It doesn't say how long it lasts, but you are fatigued. Take a point of fatigue for it. Surely it's more than 1 round. I'm going to say it's this combat. It lasts for the duration of this combat. Okay. Einar's turn. Einar goes after him with his poison spear. Come on, I need a D20. Quasi, are you still with me, buddy? No, he signed off. Okay. All right. It's a hit. Need Einar to do some damage. 4 points of damage. Soaked 2. Okay, Joran. Almost want Joran to frenzy. But it's specifically like you have to take the herbs to make it happen. The only reason Einar can do it is the rune bear skin that he's wearing gives him that ability. So Joran is going to attack with his axe. But this isn't part of the game. This isn't part of Morkborg or Kinless. But he just saw his best friend get mauled to death. So I'm going to give him advantage. I'm going to roll this twice and take the better roll. First one is a miss. Okay, second one is a 17. So, not a crit. Not a crit. So he hits. Does 5 points of damage. And armor soaks 3. Okay. Here we go. Horror's turn. He is going to attack Joran. All right, that's a hit. Not a crit, but it is a hit. It does 4 points of damage and his armor soaks 1. So not the end of the world. Not good, but okay, here we go. Einar's turn. Come on, Einar. I need a crit right here. Come on. Not a crit, but a hit. 7, 8, 9 points of damage. Soaked 3. Okay, here we go. All right, sorry, math. All right, we're whittling away at this thing. That was was Einar. Yeah, Einar attacks. All right, so now it's Joran's turn. I'm losing my mind. Can't remember if that was Einar or Joran. That was Einar. Because I added the +2 for the poison. Alright, so here we go. Joran's attack. Yeah, okay, that's a hit. He does 2 points of damage after the armor set. Alright. Horror's turn. Attacking Einar or Joran? Einar. Here's where I roll the crit. Watch this. Nope. Okay. Oh. Okay, so that's a hit. I should have rolled the bloodstone instead of that. That is a hit. He hits Einar and does 8 points of damage. All right, that is 7 points of damage, but due to frenzy, we're up to a D6 of soak. Should have stayed with what I had. Okay. Hey, Bear. Thanks for checking in, buddy. Okay, that brings us back to the top of the round. Einar's turn. He is not amused. Okay, that's a hit. Keeps hitting, but he can't do any damage. 8 points of damage. And he soaked 6. He's at 30 hit points. All right, Joran's turn. Okay, that is a hit with his axe. 4 points of damage. Soaked 1, so 3. So he's at 27. So we got him halfway. And we only lost one member of our party. Okay, so he is going to attack Einar. Oh. That is a hit. Okay. 8 points of damage. Soaked 5. So he has Einar at half hit points as well. Here we go. Einar's turn. Ooh, 19. But that is a 21 to hit. So that is definitely a hit. And we're going to do D8 plus 2. 6. So that is 8 points of damage. He soaks 1. So 7 points of damage. It's down to 20. Man, this is stressful. Okay. Joran's turn. Oh, God. That's a natural 1. So if you roll a 1 when you're defending, you take 2 times damage. And the armor is damaged. So he is going to take roll a 8. 16 points of damage. Nothing he can soak. I mean, he has 10 hit points, but his armor is... Yeah, it's a D2. The most he can soak is 2 points of damage. So... Joran is dead. I don't know what to do. I liked Griff Joran. After being kicked out of the village, they were the first ones to befriend Einar. I want to, let me look up. don't see anything that says if poison is lasting or not. You give somebody poison, it does D10 of damage. But what I've got on the character sheet is a +2. I think that's just a one-time thing. I think I've been doing it right. I hate to say it, but I think I've been doing it correctly. Man, I'm upset. This was a decision I made to go into this encounter, and I lost my two buddies. I wonder if this would. I mean, he's in frenzy, so I don't think he would run. I made the decision to go into a frenzy. I think we're all in. This may be the end of Einar. But here we go. It's Einar's turn. Oh. Yes. Okay. Natural 20. Okay, that's what we needed right there. Okay. Natural 20 when you're attacking. 2 times damage to your opponent. Do this before applying their armor die. Also, their armor is damaged and they are wounded. Okay. So here we go. So a D8 plus 2. So it's 6 points of damage. 2 times is 12. Armor die is a 6. So 2 points of soak. So they take 10 points of damage, which drops him down to 10. And his armor is damaged and he's wounded. If armor is damaged, it drops to the next lower die. So he goes from a D6 to a D4. And as for wounded, you roll a D6 for wound type, and then a D10 for location. So a D6 is broken. Wait, that may be. That's huge. Uh, just for fun, let's roll the d10 and see the location. That is 5. So in its gut. Oh, that sucks. It says to ignore the wound type. Broken. I rolled broken for the wound type. And hey, Bullets, how you doing, buddy? I rolled broken for the wound type, and that could have killed it right off. But I'm hitting it in its gut. So, and it straight says ignore wound type and roll a d4. Roll a d4. That is a 3. On a 3, it takes organ damage. Gut wounds are very painful and messy. All stats are -3. So that doesn't apply to creatures though so much. But his armor has dropped to a D4, which is good news. And I'm going to say his stats dropping. I'm going to make that the attack and defense. So the DRs for his attack and defense are going to drop. What was it? -1? -3. Okay. So his attack DR is now a 13, and his defense DR is now a 15. Okay. That makes things much more manageable. It is now Voror's turn. So, here we go. No one left to attack but Einar. That is a 19, well above a 15. He misses. Einar attacks. 11. That is a 13 to hit, which meets the new stat. So that's a hit. So we're going to do 8 points of damage plus 2. So that's 6. Plus 2 is 8. And he soaks a d4 of damage now. That is 4. So he soaks 4 points of damage. He drops down to 6. Okay. We may actually make it through this. We lost our 2 best friends, but we may make it through this. Here we go. Voror attacks. So that is a 16, which beats the new 15. So Voror tries to bite Einar and misses. Einar attacks with his poison spear. That is an 8, so that is a miss. That's not good. Here we go. Voror attacks. Oh, no. That is a 2. That's a 6. Nowhere near what it needs to be. So he does wonder if that crit would drop his D8 bite attack. It says all stats. I'm gonna go for it. Instead of a D8 of damage, he does a D6. That's 5 points of damage. Let's see what we soak. We soak 2, so he does 3 points of damage to Einar. Not the best. Ooh, okay, we're cutting it close. We need to pull this out. Here we go. Einar's turn. Okay, that's a hit. Not a crit, but a hit. D8 plus 2 for damage. All right, 6 points of damage, and good grief. Here we go. Okay, one soak. So he does 5 points of damage, bringing this creature down to 1 hit point left. But it could easily take Einar out with this attack. Especially on a crit. If it was to crit on this attack, Einar's dead. So, here we go. Oh, thank you. Okay, that's a miss. Okay. All right. All we got to do is get this hit. We got to got to succeed on this attack. 18. So that's a 20 to hit. Not a crit, but an 18 on the die. So that is definitely a hit. And the spear is going to do 8 points of damage. And he soaks 4. But that is enough to take him out. There's 1 hit point. He is done. Ooh. Oh, God. Okay. So, what we get for defeating this monster. Get the Eye of the Eater. I can use a special action and pass a DR 18 toughness check to sacrifice an eye and replace it with this one. I'm not already missing an eye, so I would have to pass the toughness check. But after inserting this eye, I would get normal and infrared vision, negates weather-related hunting penalties, adds +1 on nighttime initiative rolls, and gives a +3 bonus to presence test against enchantment effects. And a -2 to NPC reaction rolls. But Einar is going to take this eye. Whoop. Wow. I'm sorry. That was OBS is going nuts. Um, so he is going to take this this eye that he finds floating in the lake and make his way uh he swims across and he comes out here on 259. And just for I'm sorry, I'm going to take a quick break. But we'll be right back. We're finishing up in the next couple of minutes. I just really need to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. Okay. Thank you for that. And Bullets, thank you for the cheer there. I didn't realize that you had done that. Thank you. That's awesome, man. Thank you. Okay. So here we go. Einar swims up onto the shore of the lake at hex 259. Let us see what goes on. Badly wounded. This is a grassy peninsula, juts into the lake here, breaking away from the forest behind it. A young man sits on the water's edge with a net and an axe. So we're going to swim up. And it says if friendly, so like Joran just lost his two best friends to this monster, so he's not gonna be antagonistic. He's kind of, So we're gonna roll a d4. You know what? I'm rolling it in chat. I can remember how to roll in chat. There you go. We roll a 2. Man is fishing for eels. As you talk to him, he scoops an eel out of the water, roughly the span of your arms, quickly chops the head off and tosses it into a basket. Those are the small ones. I don't mess with the big ones. He will sell you half an eel for 1 silver piece. we have silver. I'm gonna give him 2 silver points for a whole eel. And I wonder if that's 1 meal or not. For a full eel, that is a D3 meals. And a large eel skin, which is worth 3 silver pieces. So let's do a D3. 1 meal of eel meat. And an eel skin worth 3 silver. Okay. So here we go. We're gonna call it a night there. He's sitting on the edge of the bank of the river. He just bought this this eel from a fisherman, and he's gonna start a fire and cook it and eat. And I'm assuming that's gonna give him. Oh yeah, we're fatigued because of going into frenzy. So that puts us at a 2 fatigue. And we'll go ahead and eat the eel meat just to get it off the character sheet. I just wrote it down, but let's go ahead and erase it because why not? But that will be our meal for the evening. And now he's sitting there looking at this this eye that he got from the guardian. What did we say? You would need to pass a DR 18 toughness check. Sacrifice one of our eyes and insert this one in its place. Our toughness is a +3. So we would need to beat a 15. Okay. He's going to go for it. I need to beat a 15 on this bloodstone boulder. It doesn't say what happens if you fail that roll. I guess you don't successfully pluck your eye out. If we can try again at another time. Yeah, because the toughness check is just to pluck your eye out. So here we go. Need to beat a 15. That is a 1. So he takes his dagger and brings it up to his right eye. And like he's sitting by a campfire. There's no mirror or anything. He's just trying to do this. And he can't bring himself to do it. It doesn't necessarily chicken out, but he just doesn't feel like it's something. Maybe now's not the right time. He's really shook up by the loss of Griff and Joran. And so he's just going to take this eye and put it in his satchel for now and keep it for later. It's resting right next to this helm of this Draugr that he was warned against using. So that may come up, next time we check in. Maybe we'll try that again and see if we can get this eye put in place. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for us this evening. That was a interesting combat. I just noticed that creature was right there next to the Draugr crypt. So I thought it'd be cool to do it. It wouldn't be like I was jumping halfway across the map. So, but I think that's going to do it for us this evening. We should be back next week, a week from tonight, with our Starforge game. But what was going to be our Traveler game has turned into a Starforge game. Kevin had to bow out of GM duties, as we've said before, and Jenna is taking over as the GM, and she is going to run our characters and our story. But Traveler is very crunchy, very intense, and she's never run it or played it before. So she is transferring all of our characters and everything over to Starforged, and we're going to run it there. The three of us are going to play the characters we've already created. We're just moving them, we're porting them into Starforged. So that's supposed to play a week from tonight. If it doesn't, I'll be back on with something else, either Tavern Master or more Kinless. But we'll have something on the channel Sunday night. And then of course the following weekend will be Thanksgiving weekend, so we'll be shut down for that. I'll be out of town. It's a holiday weekend, so well, I mean, I'll be coming home Sunday. I might get on and play Tavern Master that night. I don't know. We'll see what time I come home. But thank you for joining me this evening, Quasi and Bear and Bullets. Thank you guys for checking in, and thank you, Bullets, for the cheers. That was awesome. Thank you so much. And please join us when we're back. I may have some more Tavern Master, like during the week. I may stream some Tavern Master. I really enjoyed playing that, and I've actually played it off stream a little bit, just trying to build up my money, but it doesn't work. Like, you're just hemorrhaging money. Like every morning when you open the tavern, you're paying out 300 gold pieces, so you're starting off in the hole. I was trying to just let it run and build up some savings, but it didn't work out because I kept having to replenish supplies. Um, but I may be back later this week with some more Tavern Master, just because it's a good, it's kind of a chill game to just sit and play. But thank you for joining me and hanging out here tonight for more of Kinless and the Adventures of Einar, the Viking. This was a close one. This was real close to everybody involved. Like this was close to the end. So we're gonna have to rethink some of our moves going forward. We're gonna have to be a little bit more careful now that we don't have two buddies traveling with us. Um, so yeah, let's just for fun, let's see if there's anybody going right now that we can raid. Um, don't see any of our friends going at the moment. So yeah, we'll just what is this? What is the yeah, none of our buddies are going at the moment. And I mean we could raid somebody, but I don't know that it would make any difference to anybody. So we're going to go ahead and call it an evening. And this will be up on the YouTube channel. I got so wrapped up in the game, I haven't even thought about our links here. This will be posted up on the YouTube channel. There's a playlist with all of the Kinless games. This whole story uh, is there. This is the 10th episode of a ongoing story. So that is all listed there on the YouTube page. If you are interested in role playing games and want to try some new games with some cool people, by all means, you can join us there on our Discord server and hang out with us there. And yeah, so like I said, next week we should be back with Starforged. If we don't start the story, it may be a stream where we get Tim and Chad ported into Starforged. Jenna and I did that last week for my character and for our ship, but we still have to do it with Tim and Chad. And so we may do that, but if we do that during the week, if we get that handled, we may start the story. But there'll be something going on Sunday night, and I'm sure I'll be on sometime during the week with Tavern Masters. So thank you for joining me and hanging out. And again, Bullets, thank you for the cheer. And we will see you next time. Have a great week, everybody.